Here's my video about some of the evidence-based teaching practices that I hope to one day implement into my own classroom. I have broken it down into 3 categories, the first one being teacher-led routines, then assessment and collaboration, and the third one being individual needs. First, we will look at teacher-led routines, with the first one being anchored instruction. So anchored instruction engages students in their learning. It is a technology-based approach, and it is important that it engages the students, but it doesn't take away from the content. These anchors are usually shown at the beginning of the lesson just to get them hooked and engaged in what they will be learning. A good example of an anchor is a case study or a short video. Now I'll move on to authentic learning. So authentic learning gives students a real-life purpose. It connects them to themselves or the community. Some ways to incorporate this into the classroom is to allow the students to choose their own topics, giving them a sense of ownership over their own work. Teachers can also create a project that the final product will be implemented into the community, either the school community or the broader community. Authentic learning provides students with engagement and more creativity, as well as an increase in motivation. Moving on to assessment and collaboration. The first one we'll talk about is collaborative learning. So collaborative learning is when a group of students work together to accomplish something. It is important to give each student of the group a specific job to keep them accountable. Each group should establish trust and communication, and then they should also agree on a plan to complete the desired goal. It is important to keep in mind that all these students are diverse and that they should be working to everyone's strengths. Technology is great to incorporate in this type of learning, as it is easy to share notes and communicate with your partners or group members. The next thing we'll move on to is effective feedback. So effective feedback is important because it enhances student learning and it guides them to a desired goal. Students need feedback so that they can grow and learn from the mistakes. Some strategies for effective feedback in my classroom will be making descriptive feedback, returning it to the students in a timely manner, being consistent within my feedback, and in time for them to fix their mistakes, so maybe before an assignment is due, giving them feedback on that assignment. And we'll move on to the last category of individual needs, first talking about autism. Autism is a huge, wide spectrum, and it's important to treat every child differently. Just like the quote, you've met one child with autism, so you've only met one child. It is important to minimize distraction in the classroom with these students, which could include bright lights, loud sounds, and it is important to keep a routine and give them warnings about transitions. And we're just going to move down to the last one, ADHD. ADHD is very hard to diagnose, and symptoms can vary, so there are quite a bit of misdiagnoses. So it's important to keep in mind that not all students who are can't sit still or can't focus have ADHD. It is important to remember that maybe they're just hungry or they didn't get a good sleep last night. So some key things to implement into my classroom are to minimize distractions. So maybe sit students with ADHD away from the windows or doors. To allow for breaks when they get frustrated or can't focus anymore, it's okay to take a break. And to give choice in their work. Giving them choice allows them to get engaged and involved in their own learning. My approach at teaching is very student-based, and I hope to implement all these strategies into my own teaching one day.